Unset expectations are premeditated resentments and they are killing your marriage. Welcome back to the Be Better podcast. I'm your host, Harrison Orr. I've coached almost 500 guys to have more energy, more presence, ultimately more intimacy by evolving from the nice guy and living as their most authentic, powerful self. One of the most common traits of being a nice guy, and I was about to say suffered. I don't want to use that term because it's very victim mindset-esque, but experienced the covert contracts, the people pleasing, the doing things for other people with the unset expectation that if I do this for them, they will do something in return for me. And especially for nice guys, it's often fulfilling a need that they are unable to do for themselves. It's often a source of validation, a source of confidence, a source of love even, or a source of value or worth, things that nice guys inherently lack within themselves. And because they are unable to cultivate it for themselves internally, they walk around bleeding this wound onto everybody else, desperately trying to get it from everybody else, desperately trying to get it from women by bending over backwards to do extra chores, to make more money, to do everything to appease to their good nature in hope that they will get thrown that bone of some extra sex, maybe a cuddle, maybe I love you, or these other words or actions of affirmation to show that you're a good boy. Well done, my pet. The problem, if it is not already blatantly obvious with these unsaid contracts, these unsaid expectations, is that when they don't happen, when the other person doesn't fulfill their side of this contract that they have absolutely no idea is going on, the nice guy gets resentful, gets passive aggressive, gets frustrated. And I used to be like that. And before I had read No More Mr. Nice Guy, before I had started on this journey and was aware of, my subconscious, these beliefs and these things that were playing out in this way, I had no idea why I was feeling these things, why I was frustrated at people, why I was short at them, why I was, irritable. And ultimately I realized that it was because it was a reflection. It was because I had not set a boundary. I had not communicated. I didn't have the self-worth, love, confidence for myself that I was expecting to get from somebody else because of this good deed that I'd done, or this yes that I had, unsubconscious, internally willing to do, but externally said yes to appease this person's, desire of me. I'd sold myself out. I'd betrayed myself. And I believe that's where a lot of these emotions come from. And sure, we project them onto other people, but really it's just a mirror. Our projection is just a reflection of ourself, of our internal world. And so when we're casting these feelings and these energies out to other people, look at why that is. What's inside of me? Why am I so triggered by this or have this feeling come up? Is it really because of this other person? Or is it because they didn't play my game? I did the thing for them without asking for it and they didn't return the favor. Or they didn't meet the need that I subconsciously needed them to meet by me doing this thing. I sacrificed, I went over and above, I did all the chores, I picked up the kids, I worked extra hard, I did all these things, and still there was something wrong. Still, it's not good enough. That's a very frustrating place to be. Now that you're in a place where you can articulate that, how this is playing out, these covert contracts and these unset expectations, how they're unraveling, we now have a couple of options. Assuming that you're the nice guy that wants to evolve and stop playing this out in his life and his marriage especially, we have a couple of options, or a couple of methods, if you will. First one, and this is one that I highly recommend, and you can apply this not just to these situations, but through everything in life, is essentially the ability to let go of these expectations. Because the action might be the same. Think about it this way. The action of buying her some flowers, or making sure that the house is tidy before she gets home. Side note, if your woman is always stressed and always worried about cleaning and you're never having sex or being intimate, recognize that there's probably some prerequisites that have nothing to do with you, her, the intimacy, or the connection, are to do with the surroundings. I know a hell of a lot of people that have said, like, dude, if my house is clean, like, I've got my wife's full attention. I know I'm the same. If there is mess, if there is things to be done and things around, she cannot relax. She's the type of person that will have to have them done before she can relax. So know your woman is what I will say there. But coming back to the expectation, the action itself that you perform might be the exact same, whether it's the flowers or the foot rub or the gift, whatever it is that is your flavor of love expression, might be the exact same. But there is a huge subconscious and energetical difference between I'm doing this from a place of love, of I just love you and wanted to express this in more than just words or the usual way. So I've bought you this gift. I want to give you this attention. I want to help you relax. I want to do this. And just so that you can enjoy it. Period. Nothing else. Versus I'm going to do this thing so that you will relax, so that you'll get turned on, so that you want to have sex with me, so that you'll appreciate me, so that you'll finally see me, so that you will meet this need. And then if that doesn't happen, I'm going to be like a lost puppy and passive aggressive and all these things, and guilt trip you into why it didn't happen, and then get frustrated and throw my hands up in the air and say, why do I even fucking bother? Like a spoiled little brat. Sound familiar? And I don't say this to directly target people, but if that's the case, then you're welcome. I'm also speaking to a version of myself from former years. So I know exactly what it's like in both scenarios. So letting go of that expectation. If you start to feel this trigger or this emotion come up when something hasn't happened the way that you anticipated it, check in with yourself. Like, what was I expecting to happen from here? And what did I not communicate, or what was not made crystal clear on my expectations or this trade, essentially? You'll most often find, if you're a nice guy, that there was no communication of, if I do this, would you do this for me in return? Or this return of favors. So then, now we've brought an awareness to it. In future, before you go to do something, asking yourself that same question, but from the present tense. Am I doing this because I want something in return? Or am I doing this for no other reason other than it would make me feel good to do this for this person? It would make me feel good to do this for my child, to do this for my wife, to do this for my client, for my business partner, for my neighbor, for whoever it is. I would just like to do this, and I have zero expectation of return. If they say thank you and they do something back, amazing. That's on them to reciprocate that. But I am complete just in the expression of that. The freedom that comes from that is liberating. And if you're like, oh, well, I don't know if that applies to me, I call bullshit. How many people have been to a wedding or have been married and you had people on your guest list that you only invited because they invited you to their wedding? Or the gift you gave them was only because of the value of the gift that they gave you. You wanted to reciprocate, right? And so that's part of a human need, but it's also this expectation in return as well. Or maybe you got upset if you invited someone to your wedding, but they didn't invite you to theirs. Right? Looking at what we feel these things say about us can uncover a hell of a lot of beliefs that you have about yourself and about the world. And then so once you're starting to bring that awareness to, okay, I've been doing these things for this return that I haven't communicated and then that I've got frustrated about, a new level of ownership, which will massively change your relationship. If you can honor this, right? If you just say this as words and never change anything, then I'll probably make things worse because it'll just reinforce that you can't keep your word and your words are just manipulative bullshit. But if you can do this properly wholeheartedly, and be impeccable with your word, then it can make a huge change. And that's the ownership of this. Think about all the things that you do for your partner and what your unset expectation is. Maybe it's you like to have showers together with the expectation of leading to sex. Maybe you like to give foot rubs or back rubs or massages with the expectation of sex. You like to do these things with the anticipation or the expectation of, if I do this, she will do this. She'll let me go and play golf on the weekend, or we'll get to have more sex, or we'll get this. I'll get the brownie points for whatever good deed you've supposedly done. When we look at it, that's just manipulation. And that's a hard pill to swallow for nice guys who don't have that in the vocabulary of how they identify and present themselves. And so when you've recognized all that, a super powerful conversation you can now have is bring this to your wife. She might know. Subconsciously, she will most definitely know, but consciously, she may not have put the words together in such a order. But subconsciously, she knows. And you probably experienced that too. Maybe you've offered a massage, you've offered to have the shower together, you've offered to go and do something for her, and maybe she's withdrawn, she's taken back, she's declined, even though you can see that would really help her out or she would really like that. What's happening is subconsciously her mind has skipped to, he's going to want sex. He's going to want this afterwards. And I'm tired. I would really love the massage, but I don't feel like having sex. I would really like this, but I don't want to agree to that, or I don't want that expectation. So, no, I don't want to be in this contract that he's subconsciously evoking. Women are extremely intuitive. That's the beautiful trait of the feminine. So they know. So when you have this conversation, you bring this up and say, babe, I've been thinking about something and I've come to this realization recently. Do you have space for me to share it? And then you own it. You own all the things. I realized that, me being a nice guy, a people pleaser, I lacked the ability to say what I really wanted, and always did things with the unset expectation that I would get something in return. And I've realized, and I know subconsciously you probably felt this or noticed this too, but when I try to give you or offer you a massage, it's because I want to be intimate, or when I do this, it's because I want this, and I want to own that, and I want to change that, because I want to be able to do these things for you from a place of love, so that you can enjoy them without any pressure or expectation that they go any further. I like to give you a massage so that you can just relax and enjoy the touch and enjoy winding down after the day without an expectation that you need to be ready to go or do anything afterwards that you may not be in the mood for. And I'd actively like to be able to, really, passionately kiss you and make out again, like all the things, the little touches and everything that we used to do when we were in that honeymoon and new phase together, that we've kind of stopped doing again, because any kiss that's, more than half a second, has that history of leading to sex and things like that. And I just want to be able to make out with you. I want to be able to do these things without that pressure. And then sit with it. Feel what she says. And now your challenge is going to be to own that, to hold that frame, because she is undoubtedly going to test you. Okay, he's saying this. Next time you give her a massage, next time you do one of these things, now that you've taken that potentially off the table, she's going to want it. So she's going to test you. Oh, he said that, we could do this without expectation. Let's see if he meant that. And if you cave, things will go back to the way that they were. oh, it was just words. He just heard some cute little script from somewhere to try and change, but his actions haven't proven that. He's not ready for that. He's still same old man, just some different language. And that'll probably hurt more. So the key to this actually changing your relationship, is the ability to stay impeccable with your word. And if you lay this out at the start, before you start this massage, this gesture, this gift, whatever it is, stating your intention. Whereas, hey babe, I just want to do this for you. Here this is. There is no sex on the table. Not even it's not happening. I just want to put that out there. And if you're a businessman, or even if you're not in business, I'm sure you've been on sales calls or video calls or things like this in the past where there's that hesitation in you that is, oh, this person's going to try and sell me something. And you've got your walls up, right? You're skeptical, you're unsure, you're not fully relaxed, where are they going with this? How are they going to spin this to try and take my money or whatever it is? That's how she's feeling. But then if in those conversations, they start it with, hey man, there's absolutely nothing to buy here today. Even if you want to, I'm not taking money, you can't buy anything. This is just a conversation to help you out, to do this, to do that. Now, assuming that you believe that is genuinely true, how much more relaxed and engaged in the conversation are you now that you can actually listen without this thinking of, what is he trying to sell me? How much is it going to cost? And if you've got the ick, how am I going to get out of this conversation? How am I going to hang up here? Now flip it. You're in his shoes and your wife's in your shoes in that situation. It probably feels pretty shit. So you have to mean it. Or if you do want to be intimate, you do want to take things further, be outright and say it. State those desires. And that is fucking scary. As a nice guy, and you've never done this before, stating those needs of, babe, tonight after dinner, once the kids are going to bed, we're going to put some music and the candles on, and I'm going to massage you, seduce you, and then make love to you and make you feel the best that you have in months. Whatever wording you want to use. That can be scary. Sure, you open yourself up for rejection, but you've stated your needs in a way that you never probably have before. And there's a power that comes from that. There's also a power in being so transparent and honest that there is no secret play to this. So, if you're someone that those covert contracts has been playing out in your relationship and it's tearing apart that trust, that respect, and even that intimacy like we've been through, even if you're not ready to have that conversation with your wife just yet, identify all the things that you do. All the things that you do in an attempt to get that love, that validation, that sex, that need met from her, or that attention that carry those unset expectations or those covert contracts. Asking yourself, what is it that I truly want from this? Am I doing this with an expectation, or am I doing this from a place of love? Because I want to and there's no expectation of anything in return. So I'll leave it there. If you're feeling brave, try one of those. Take action on it. Just knowing these frames, again, will keep you as a self-aware nice guy, and you will not progress anywhere. It'll be like, oh, cool, I know I'm doing these things, but I can't change anything. Actually, just go and do it. Even if you're just driving right now or you're just going for a walk, think of the things that are, playing out that you're doing with that expectation, and then see if you can do it next time from a place of zero expectation. From a place of, I do not need anything in return from this. I'm doing this wholeheartedly because I want to, and I want to express this to this person. See what changes in the way that you show up and the result that you get. With that, don't be sorry, be better, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.